This is going to be such a fun video for me to do. Words will flow. I know exactly what to say, more or less. I have over 10 years experience with this product and a lot of real world data. I'm going to give you an update on the entire KelTec SU-16 rifle lineup. It is 2016. Officially 10 years after the creation of the Nutnfancy project. One of the first, not the first, but one of the first tactical carbines I ever reviewed was this gun. The KelTec SU-16 C model, and this might be the very one I reviewed. We've had it in inventory ever since then. We have no intentions of selling it ever. Now, have you ever heard, read, or watched the following sentiment on the interweb, in FaceTube? Guy will say, KelTec suck. I would never trust my life to a KelTec. Sound familiar? Yeah, I thought so. We've all seen that a lot. In commentary, there'll be guys in this video that'll be saying that. Let me say this. Some of the sentiment, some, not all, is understandable. I myself, I don't want to say hate, but have been very disappointed with several of KelTec's offerings. Currently, for instance, the CMR is under a non-recommend here in the Nutnfancy project. Will that change? I hope so. Maybe I do an updated review on that gun and it turns out much better than when we reviewed it a few years ago. Some other guns, they're just like, well, you know, what the heck is going on with this? It's just not right, you know. Right now, I'm kind of lukewarm about the RDB. And there was another one. Oh yeah, the second gen sub 2K. That's under a non-recommend right now. So if anybody thinks I'm in KelTec's coffers or pockets, you're dead wrong, dude. You need to watch the videos and pull your head out, I guess. It's the best way to say that. Not. They have no idea I'm doing this video. I've given them a lot of negative publicity when it's warranted. But back to the sentiment, KelTec as a whole sucks. Not accurate, dude. Not accurate. You need to be less myopic. A video I came out with way back in 2008. Brand myopia. What you're doing is just saying carte blanche, the entire product line is bad. Maybe you had a bad experience with a certain gun, and now you're saying, well, everything's bad. I'd say I owned a Ford Ranger at one time, and it was unreliable. And then 20 years later, I say all of Ford's products suck. Is that accurate? Is it fair? No, it's not. Now, I love it when this happens. Oh, I love it. I will scoot up to the reviewing table to do the work for you guys in a GRV, maybe it's a KRV, and the title of the video comes to my mind loud and clear. I know exactly what to call it. That happened about 5 minutes ago with this gun. The title is the KelTec SU-16 still does not suck! Exclamation point. And it doesn't. The SU-16 is excellent for what it is. Excellent. I'm going to have a brief discussion about philosophies of use, integrate it into our own life here in the Nutnfancy missile silo. It will be fun. It will be fun. But I like that title because I think it addresses what I feel is a prejudice. Let's laser beam focus on the SU-16 series of rifles. Prejudice against this rifle because of its looks, its configuration, its extensive use of polymers, or that it's just not the tactical darling of the tactical elitists, which are rampant in YouTube. Their brand depends on that tactical elitism. What is that? That's where you can turn your nose up at certain things and say they're not good enough for me, they're not reliable enough, good enough, all that stuff. Some of it's based in truth, a lot of it isn't. A lot of it is just posturing. Just being honest with you guys. It's posturing for brand, whatever their brand is. I don't do that. It's totally honest. It is what it is. Likability scales do change here in the project. And here's the interesting thing on the SU-16. We have over 10 years of experience shooting this gun. A decade.
Go left.
How many can say that? 10 years of, I would call it moderate to high use in drills, shooting it. I wouldn't say like we're putting thousands and thousands of rounds through the SU-16s. We're not. But at times they come out and they're cast members and they're pulling their weight. They're shot by crew members, visitors to TNP. They'll play in a drill. And it's been on my mind for the last 3 years. I need to do an update on it and show that this gun, I was talking about likability scales, this gun has held its likability scale with me. And I play no favorites. If something ends up sucking, reliability, accuracy, quality, durability, you're going to hear about it. You're going to hear about it. Subscribe to my Twitter feed. I'll bust out a tweet and I'll go, hey, by the way, this gun's likability just changed. It sucks, or in rare cases, it's gotten better. That's very rare. A couple guns, speaking of likability, whose my favoritism towards them changed after I posted it would be the Ruger SR9 and the Ruger SR556. After I did those reviews, I had more experience with it. I played with their competition more. It was early in the Nutnfancy project, and so I'm very lukewarm on both of those guns. I wouldn't purchase either one. Although, don't tell anybody, I still own an SR9. Seriously, I do. I'm not going to sell it. It's not worth it to sell it. I mean, what do I get out of it? 200 if I'm lucky? Not worth it. Put it in a secret location, have it pull its weight. The one I have now is now reliable. Since then, the competition has grown extremely competent in both pistols and, like we're talking about here, rifles and tactical carbines. The likability scale always represents my feeling at the time of that video posting. It can always change, just depending. Usually you'll find over the years it's very, very consistent. The SU-16C. Do people hate it? I'll say this. Not the owners of the guns. That's my takeaway. And I just spent 2 hours on the internet clicking around, seeing what people were saying. Bouncing it off of my very solid, unmovable opinion of the gun. But what are other people saying? What I have found in person and on the internet, people who actually have the gun. Yes, there are a few lemons running around out there, but KelTec would hook you up and fix them for you. People who own the gun love them. That's it. They're almost ashamed to say so, because I was reading in some comment section and they're like, well, it's not an AR-15, it has limitations, but man, I love it. It's almost like they know they're going to get pounced on if they come out and say, hey, the SU-16 is awesome. Well, all you SU-16 owners out there, be proud of your fandom for this gun. It is well-founded. Make no apologies for it. Who cares what they think? It is such a great gun. Great gun. There are several models to choose from. This is one of my favorites. This is a C model, folding stock version of the KelTec SU-16. They have one that I'm not super fond of, and that is the B model with a plastic front sight, non-threaded barrel. I don't really like that one. I wouldn't recommend it. We'll talk about feature by feature here in a second. Since we, by the way, are kind of harkening back to 2009 timeframe, I have a cross jaw. This is the old TAC Force cross jaw vest that maybe some of you original TNPrs bought. And that is a long slide PPQ M2, sweet gun. And that's not very old school. Then I have a drawing someone sent to me. 2010, was that Eric? He sent it to the P.O. box and it was super cool. In fact, that photograph is an AR-15 shoot in 2009. So I just thought I'd throw that on the table. Little decoration, C model. I'm almost thinking, and this may surprise you guys, and this is an update from what I said probably in the original KelTec review. My favorite, I think, is probably the CA model. Check that out. In super sick digital camo that I coded years ago. Hey, I want my gun to look like that. Roger that. Either you'll do it yourself and spend lots and lots of time, or you'll pay someone to do it, and it'll probably, to do the magazine, the scopes, the rings, everything, 400, maybe more. Not cheap. And this is in Duracoat, not Cerakote, but it's worn great, as you can see. CA model. I love it. So the CA model has a threaded barrel, obviously. This is running the original. Both of them are actually a Phantom 5C2 flash suppressor. I've just never put anything different on it. There's certainly better muzzle devices out there, to be sure. And then it has the folding, not the folding, but the stock of the A model. The one that does not allow the rifle to be fired when it is taken down. And it is California compliant, leading us to philosophies of use. Maybe you have problems with owning an AR-15 with a bullet button if you are in the Republic of California. I hear you. I feel for you. I surely love your state, by the way. You guys know that, right? California's such a cool place. But man, is it dicked up politically. That goes without saying. And much of that has to do with gun regulations, which it seems like year by year just gets worse. It does. Maybe this is a better option for you in certain legalities. For one, it doesn't have like a total militaristic appearance. I know that's so ridiculous to consider, but it is an important player. Has more of a conventional rifle appearance. This camo notwithstanding. You put in camo, then it looks more militaristic to a lot of people's minds. And I'm talking to a lay person, not a gun person. To a gun person, like, yeah, it doesn't look militaristic to me at all. I mean, I take the flash suppressor off, I put the thread protector on both these guns, and it looks like a ranch rifle, a farming rifle. So, and that leads us to another philosophy of use, truck gun. There are ranchers that prefer the SU-16 series of rifles over AR-15s, over Mini 14s, over a large number of other guns. One of the reasons they like it is because it is so trim. Look at this. There's no vertical grips. It's a slender forearm. If you pop in one of the included 10-round magazines with it, it's flush fitting, right? Clean. I mean, you don't even have to put a scope on it, and it will fold and go into a scabbard or a very trim gun case in your truck. What's not to like? Not much. Truck gun. Motorcycle gun, definitely. Although I would generally leave a gun of this caliber at home. I don't really have a use for one. I mean, if I had some vermin to shoot, like if I lived down in Texas and I had a hog population that was invading my property or property that I could hunt on, I'd be running around with one of these, no problem, on an ATV. Hey man, 300 blackout's a lot better for hogs. True. I think 223 will get the job done too. Right to the head. Got no problems with that at all. Lightweight, compact, easy to transport. How about a bug out kit gun? I would say absolutely yes if you're willing to take the weight of a center fire cartridge, right? I mean, that KelTec CMR, when it starts running right, will be a almost perfect bug out kit gun, BOK gun, because it's 22 Magnum, which is much lighter than a 5.56 round. Can carry a lot more rounds for the same amount of weight. A lot of guys aren't comfortable with a rimfire round of any sort of description. They want to go center fire. You're going to be very hard pressed, even with an ultra lightweight AR-15 build, to beat the KelTec SU-16. Especially the C model with the foldable stock you see in the background. Or the CA model if you fit it. So bug out kit gun, yes. If you go back to my U.S. Air Force survival kit series of videos, and that posted about 4 years ago. I'm a retired lieutenant colonel in the U.S. Air Force, fought every war that came my way, and I said in that series of videos, had I had my way, when I flew over enemy territory, which I did, and I had my choice of guns to carry, being SAWC compliant, the KelTec SU-16 would have been number one. The C model, actually. That would have been number one. I would have eaten it up. Hey, it's not a battlefield rifle. I wouldn't trust my life to it. Well, check this out. We're still talking POU. I know you guys are digging this, because POU is always interesting. Let's get to that. I wouldn't trust my life to it. Well, get this. If you break into the nutnfancy compound, you know the gun most likely you will be killed with? I'm being serious here. A KelTec SU-16. That's what. If you're stupid enough to come into my house uninvited, I have KelTec SU-16 ready to rock and roll. And it's one of the guns, not the only gun that I rely upon. But do you think, knowing what I know as a reviewer, if the gun sucked, I would put that in first line home defense? Negatron, I wouldn't. I wouldn't. Once again, it's not the only gun. There's several. Top secret. I will say the SU-16 is one of them. And I feel very, very comfortable using it. Proven reliable, proven accurate enough. Super compact. It works perfect in the home defense POU. Recreationally, absolutely. It's a fun gun to shoot. Fun gun to shoot. I think it's soft recoiling. It is a long stroke piston. Has kind of an AR-like bolt, Johnson Stoner lockup, AK style long piston. So it's kind of a hybrid, really. It's not a DI gun, not direct gas impingement. So piston guys should love the KelTec SU-16. You remember a few years ago when everyone was up on the train, speaking of AE stuff, oh my gosh. Piston is the only way to go, man. I fought that battle here in TNP. I was like, no, it isn't. DI is fine. It's not broken. No way, man. You're an idiot if you run anything but a piston AR. Where's all that philosophy now? Gone.
Over here, bro, dog.
Gone. And all those guys used to say that. Now suddenly they're silent. We're like, well, you know, DI is not that bad. And at the time, though, and this is my point in saying this, is I was wondering where was the support for the KelTec SU-16 during that debate. Because people were putting it out on the table. Well, DI is dirty in the bolt. It runs hot back there. It's harder to clean. It's less reliable, they would say. I don't agree with that at all, but that's what they would say. And I'm like, well, what about the SU-16? Well, that's a KelTec. That doesn't count. I'm like, yes, it does. If you guys are really hard over on a piston, you should consider the SU-16. AK guys, Mini 14 guys should consider the SU-16. You know, if ergonomically it doesn't work out for you, cool. Second type of cool doesn't work out for you, I'm all on board. But first cool stuff, I'm going to give you an argument. And it's going to be well-founded, dude. Well-founded. Philosophy of use, that's about it. I think you get it. End of the world gun, would I trust my life to an SU-16? Yes, I would. Notice, by the way, there was no hesitation. It was like, yeah, I would. Now get this. In the internet, everywhere actually, everyone pretends like they are a special operations dude going to be heloed into Taliban territory to fight on foot unsupported for 30 days. Firefight, firefight, firefight. Operation Anaconda style. That kind of thing. I just don't think that's realistic, man. I bet most people, and I'm talking 99.9%, will never fire it for self-defense. That being said, yes, I love a reliable gun. Yes, I want one battle-worthy. Yes, I like this, blah, blah, blah. But realistically speaking, for what it can do, and I'll say dumping 3 mags super quick, accurately, reliably, no problems.
Well, that's white too.
No problems. If you're dumping, I would say more than 1 mag, you need to get the hell out of there. I don't care what situation you're in. If you're alone, unsupported, WRL, you're having a really bad day. That's probably going to get worse. Get out of there. Covering fire. Run. Hide. Disengage. Live. That's what I would say. How about SAWC design and ergos for the beloved, what? Is it not beloved? KelTec SU-16 series. Well, this is where the rubber hits the road with the nutnfancy project. The gun is 4.7 pounds naked. What? 4.7 pounds for a centerfire 5.56 223 chambered rifle. What's this one weigh? So this is wearing a Weaver 2-7 scope on it, aluminum rings. It just has a 10 rounder in it. Let's see. 6 pounds. Oh my gosh. Let's see what this C model weighs, and it has a 20 round GI aluminum in it. Get these mags out of the way. I mean, you can build guns that are lighter, I know, but you're going to spend a lot of money usually. 613. And that is with, make sure I'm telling you right, yeah, an illuminated VXR, one of the best all-around scopes currently being produced. That's a 3-940 Leopold VXR. Link in the bottom if I can find it. Love this scope. And those are not cheap rings. Those, I believe, are not MWS, I'll think of it. Really nice 30 mil rings. They're not PRIs, I'm forgetting. So they're pretty much mil-spec rings on there. So we're looking at full up, ready to fight, 6 pounds. Now, if at this point you're going, well, dude, you're still not getting convinced. You're like, I would never do a KelTec SU-16. For again, your get out of jail free card with me personally is if you say second cool. I just don't like it. It doesn't strike a chord with me. It's too plasticky. Given. I got it. There's all guns that you and I will look at and we'll just go, yeah, that's just not for me. I get it. But if you say, yeah, the gun sucks, bullshit. Bullshit. You haven't shot it. And if you shot it, you would probably change your mind. Again, I'm not saying there aren't lemons out there. Every company produces lemons. I mean, I was just shooting the X95 and that thing got like 4 MOA accuracy. It's a $2,000 tactical carbine. 4 to 5 MOA with some loads. Horrible accuracy. But you're saying, yeah, I just want an AR-15, dude, and it's the bomb, man. I love it, I love it, love it. Well, so do I, and it is probably my overall favorite go-to-war choice. Here's one of my builds. Let's see what it weighs. This is in my series, the best AR-15 rifle in the world. I talk about the component selection. Goes on the Saber Defense SPR lower. That's pretty dang light. 6'7". I didn't get ridiculous on the build, like carbon fiber, this, handguard. I can make it lighter. I'm going to talk about this though. Being ultra light makes it harder to shoot. 6 to 7 pounds, from what I'm seeing, is about the right weight for a centerfire rifle to shoot it accurately. Note also though that I have a Holosun 503C, super excellent, reflex automatic, always on sight, versus the scopes that I just weighed. So if I put a scope on this, you're looking at 7, 7.3, 7.5. Maybe even more with a mount, depending on what mount I use. I love AR-15s, dude. They're probably my overall favorite rifle in the world. Everybody's been watching TNP for any length of time knows that. But it doesn't mean the KelTec SU-16 does not have a place in my own personal system. It definitely does. If it didn't, I would have pitched these a long time ago, bro. They would have been gone. What's your favorite model? I think I kind of mentioned that. One thing I like about the CA model is that it is so comfortable to shoot. Now, theoretically, it was put together for legality reasons, but it has a lot of the features that I super like. And I'll start at the end here. A threaded muzzle. Both barrels are now featuring a 1-in-7 twist. Barrel quality is medium. I wouldn't say it's cold hammered forged awesomeness, but they're good. Good enough. Put a can on it, put whatever muzzle adapter you want on it, like we talked about. And looking just at the CA model, it has a conventional stock back here, which I just love. I love the conventional stock on the CA model. If you want to fold it, again, in non-firing configuration, all you'll do is take it down, I should say take out the magazine, safety check it, and push out the takedown pin. Which in mine should be captured. It's not. That's a downside. Don't lose it. So there's your portability of the gun right there. Of the CA model. Backpackable, something I forgot in philosophy of use, absolutely. You know, you're not going to pop it out and shoot it immediately. You got to fold it and, you know, put the pin back into it. Easy enough to do, absolutely. If you want something that is ready to rock and roll, even in folded configuration, go with the C model, dudes. Look at this. It will fire in this configuration. Stock folded, it has a slot in the folding stock. It'll fit aluminum magazines, that is GI style magazines, not polymer ones. So this Lancer wouldn't fit, this Tapco wouldn't fit. It's got to be a GI aluminum for it to fit, right? This one's hot, ready to go. Look at that. Just come to the table for a little how you doing. Love the C model though. It's excellent. We left off at the muzzle here. Barrel diameter is excellent. I said that back in 2009, I believe. I like how it isn't pencil barrel, and remember, naked weight is 4.7 pounds. A lot of manufacturers, and I've seen this over and over again, will get criticized for their weight. And what do? They go, okay, we're going to put a pencil barrel on it. They won't advertise it, but they'll advertise the weight they've achieved. Hey, look, now it's only 6.5 pounds. And you go to measure their barrel, and it's like, I don't know, a little over half an inch thick. You're like, come on. Not to say such barrels cannot shoot well. That AR just threw on the table has... it's not a pencil barrel, but it's one step above. You know, for 3 mags, works fine. How about this part right here, the forearm? In accessories, I may mention again, I'll just mention it here, you can put on the compact fore-end that KelTec sells. There are other fore-ends that are being sold. I think Red Line makes one. Be super smart on how you select those because I would weigh them. You don't want to ruin what is lightweight, and you don't want to ruin the value package of the SU-16. As soon as and this is what I'm saying, stay grounded. As soon as I start throwing accessories on, adding weight, I would go, is that smart? If I'm going to go that path and I end up with a 7-pound gun, why don't I go with an AR? It makes a lot more sense to me then, because I get exactly what I want. It's user configurable. I put whatever rail on, whatever grip set, stock set I want, boom, done. But if you're looking to save money and you're going to be smart about it, I would probably just run it the way it comes. out of box. I love this fore end. I think it's comfortable. It has great checkering on it. It provides great traction. It is extendable. Both versions, actually all versions of the SU-16, I'm going to push these buttons here off camera, are extendable to a bipod. Hey, that's hokey. I could see why someone would say that, but let me tell you this, it works. It totally works. It weighs nothing. You're not adding any mounts to it, an additional 20-ounce bipod. It's built in from the factory. Perfect. What's not to like about it? It stays closed, so when you don't need it, it's completely unobtrusive. You won't notice it at all. I think the integration of a bipod in the SU-16 series after all these years is super smart. Super smart. Spring loaded. You can see the spring right there. You see where the piston discharges there. The dirt's going to go somewhere. I've always said that. It just goes up here. Love the bipod. And you see the thickness of the barrel comes all the way back. A disadvantage, of course, is that you don't have quickly swap out barrels or interchangeable barrels on the SU-16. Another disadvantage, and I'm not going to go over it here, is I think field strip is a pain in the butt for the KelTec, especially with a scope on, because you have to take the scope off. Because you're going to rotate this top cover right here, the tube cover, rotate it, extract it, and it needs to angle up to extract and remove, and this is in the way. Because I mount my scope super low, as you can tell, not high. Maintaining cheek weld. Downside, go look at the original review when I posted it. I go all over the field strip back then. Love the fore ends on them. If I didn't, I would have gotten rid of them. No, look, on the C model, kept that fore end. Another thing is it's long, so you have a lot of grasping area. You can do a forward hold on it, come back here and hold it. You can do a magazine well hold. Talking of ergonomics, it works. Downside is this is not a gun that you just want to dump mag after mag after mag. We dumped 3 magazines the other day in rapid succession out of this one, and there was a lot of heat coming out, and if we kept going, no doubt this would have started to soften, maybe melt the fore end on the SU-16. SU-16. SU stands for Sport Utility, I believe, so it's not really designed as a proverbial battle rifle, but up to 3 mags you will be able to do no problem. No problem. Again, if you're dumping more than 3 mags, it is a bad day. Well, but what if I have to? Well, maybe then look to a different gun. High firepower weapon that can withstand that amount of heat. I don't know. It is a reciprocating charging handle. I love it. There's a case deflector right there. It's polymer. No problems. I run M1s, M1 carbines, Mini 14s, AKs. They're the same way. I don't like a reciprocating charging handle. I have no problems with it. This portion right here is a dust cover on the aft of the bolt. It keeps dust out. Once again, the field strip is, I wouldn't say it's difficult. It just takes a little bit of practice. Once you do it a few times, if you don't have to remove a scope, no issues. If you had like a little red dot right here, a 503C, just like I showed you on the AR, you won't have to worry about it at all. It's only with a scope. It is a polymer gun. In fact, you can see the 2 halves screwed together with all the screws here. The downside to that is it's polymer, meaning that it is not the most stable material around. Pure polymer guns, and let's go back to the Smith & Wesson M&P 1522 for instance, will have some flex, will have some movement, and that might explain why the KelTec SU-16 series is not 1 MOA accurate. I really don't doubt the barrel, I don't doubt the lockup, but the receiver, which your optic is mounted to, might have some movement. You dump 3 mags in it, you might have more movement. Just keeping it real. The upside to that is 4.7 pounds. So keep it real, man. 4.7 pounds is a great weight for this gun, for the philosophies of use I've discussed, which I think are founded in realism. Totally doable. How about the trigger? I guess I'll leave that out. Trigger's okay. It's not awesome. Here's your cross bolt safety right here. Not really situated where you'd want it, up here, and this is your mag release fenced in. I put a little piece of skateboard tape on it. Very AR-15-ish where it's located, very convenient. The safety, not so much, but I've really never had a problem with the safety. I adapt to it in about 3 seconds out there. I haven't pulled this in a long time. I'm going to guess around 7 to 8 pounds. Whoa, that one pulled 10. Not great. I haven't done a trigger job on a KelTec SU-16 that I remember. I wonder how awesome it'd be then. There you go. That's more realistic. 8.3. 8 pounds 3. It's okay. It is a little bit harder to work with at longer range. You really have to concentrate on the brake, which I think is a little bit mushy in the SU-16 series across the board. Seriously. I wonder what this one pulls at. About the same, 8.8. Called it. About the same. So the trigger, I don't know of any aftermarket trigger modifications you can do it. It's not a modular trigger. That is a disadvantage over the AR series. You are stuck with a grip. You're stuck, well, kind of stuck with a forend. You do have some options there. But for what you get, totally workable. The pistol grip on the CA, I love it. How about the folding stock on the C model? How is it? I think it's pretty excellent, actually. It's deep enough for a good purchase. You have a good cheek weld here. There's my information tag. Tell me what the gun's sighted for. And I think the butt stock is comfortable. Super lightweight. And the funny thing is, you look at the C model and you go, there's no way that's comfortable. You go, no way. Which might lead to some people going, nah, that's an ugly gun. Well, shoot it. Shoot it. Talk to me. Come out to a drill. Shoot it. Still to this day, the gun that holds the record, check this out. For the Sledgehammer series of drills, which we used to do here in the TNP, years ago, is the SU-16. I did better with an SU-16 than I had ever done with any other gun. Granted, we haven't ran the drill in a long time because no one watches them, but it rocked. I mean, it was amazing. You can, in the CA model, integrate your magazines. That's kind of a gee whiz feature. I just do it for the review. The magazines are so light, though. The nice thing is that if you integrate them into the buttstock, you will at least always have a magazine. And you won't have to worry about being caught without one. And they are pretty solid. I mean, I was running a gun with this and they didn't pop out. C model doesn't have that feature because it's a skeletonized buttstock, as you can imagine. Trigger guard, by the way, is a little bit cramped. It is wide. If you have gloves on, could present a problem. Not a huge problem, but it could. The butt stock, or the butt pad on the CA model, perfection. They do sell an extended butt pad, and it works great. Notice the check ring back here. Check ring on the pistol grip. Superb. Charging handle, super easy, low maintenance, no issues. I think that's just SAWC design and ergos. I got to keep pressing. Firepower, standard AR. Works with every magazine I've ever tried it with. Let's see, Tapco, GI aluminum like this one, Lancer, Magpul, you name it, I've tried them all. Drum mags, I've ran those, they work fine in the SU-16 series. They work totally fine. So firepower is phenomenal. Keep in mind though, 100% polymer up there, so if you're going to be dumping mag after mag, maybe not the smartest thing in the world. Track record, for us, we have had stoppages in the KelTecs. They have been very rare, and they've always been with steel-cased ammunition, i.e. Wolf. So Wolf is dirty, it's underpowered. This is a long-stroke piston system. If you really, really, really want it to go bang, run brass-cased ammo, you probably will not have a problem at all. There are users out there that says they've shot 6,000 rounds with their KelTec SU-16s, no problems. No parts flying off, no breakages, no need to send back to the factory. I will say the track record is excellent, contrary to what the internet says as a whole. Again, are there lemons out there? Maybe. But we've ran 5 of them over the last 10 years, and they've all been excellent. Steel case ammo notwithstanding. Use brass, you're good to go. And by the way, the owner's manual says don't use steel case ammo. So you're kind of using a load that the manufacturer doesn't even approve with. I always like to test it because it's kind of an emergency ammo. How about accuracy? How about, I'll say 1.5 to 3 MOA, depending on what round you're shooting. So this is just 50 yards. This is October of last year. Look at that group. Nice. That's a great 50-yard group. Decent. And I'm shooting, I don't know what load. I didn't really say. But decent accuracy. And I just shot this the other day, the black one on the top. And to be honest, I'm a little disappointed. There's XM193. There's PMC. Hated that group. That's awful. TAC ammo, 55, very consistent, tight load, really nice group off of KelTec. There's PMC, PMC, Fiocchi, 77 grain, Sierra Match Kings, that's a really good load. 1 in 7 twist coming through. Federal gold medal match. And then maybe throughout the video I'll show you some past targets that we shot with it, but maybe they're from run and gun. So I think the bench rest accuracy of a KelTec SU-16 is kind of unimpressive. Like I said, 1.5 MOA if you're shooting really, really good, really, really careful, good ammo it likes. Usually about 3 MOA. About like, actually I think it's better than a Mini 14. Actually I get out of SU-16s. Here's what I was going to say about the weight, the proper weight. And just shooting this a couple days ago, I was reminded of it, and that's why I wanted to go shoot it again. You'll see footage. It is so light, it's really hard to lock down the KelTec on the bench. And if you haven't done it lately, try it and talk to me, because you'll realize, wow, this thing is kind of moving all over the place, right? That's correct. Even with a good bench rest, which I did have, as you'll see in the video, you know, there's movement. There's movement. It's a very lightweight, svelte gun. It's kind of popping all over the place. When you're at the bench, like I've always said, weight is your friend. Right? Not when you're running a gun, and not when you're backpacking, not when you're in WRL. The weight is not your friend. You have to make some compromises. And the compromise is, do I want firepower, here we go again, or mobility? So that, just keep that in mind. Accuracy is excellent for what it is. Weights we showed you, accessories. I don't really recommend any accessory other than a muzzle device of your choosing. Ton of magazines, of course. But I've lived with a stock trigger. I live with a stock furniture. You know, I guess accessories, scope it, put a reflex sight on it. Absolutely. I didn't really talk about the sights. I'm glad I remembered it. On the C model and the CA model, which I love, they use a metal sight. And it works fine. I have the rear taken off because these scopes sit so low it won't fit. The rear is kind of hokey, but it does work. You have to adjust it with a Phillips screwdriver. It's not the best. I wish Tech Sights would make something for it. I could adapt a Williams WGRS peep sight to it. There's probably some that would adapt to it if you just want to run pure iron and keep it super simple, super light. I respect it. Yeah, look into that. Do I have a flashlight mount? I do. So that's I think a tactical illuminator by Insight Technologies. You just put a short Picatinny rail, so I lift that out up. You can mount just in a 1-inch ring, something super simple, your favorite tactical flashlight. I think I have it on all my SU-16s. I do. So, because a light's super important for me to have. VG on this one, not so much. Just a light. An option to mount a light. Other accessories, though, like an aftermarket rail. You know, they do sell an AR-15 style buttstock, so you can take this off, push pin it out. I just don't really like the way it attaches. It has a lot of metal hardware on it. It looks kind of goofy. If you're putting an AR-15 stock on it, just get an AR-15. Yeah, get a value AR-15, MMP-15 Sport, that new Ruger. Those would be good options for you. That's it. I think, by the way, the PLR-16, the pistol version of this gun, is pretty excellent from what I know about it. If you SBR it, amazing. Wear some double ears, though, because it is loud. Value. SU-16s do not suck, especially in terms of value. Good luck trying to find an AR-15 at this weight for $500 to $600. I just jumped online and I'm seeing them selling brand new, and this was a Cerakoted OD one for $570 in stock at this one place. That's pretty sick. That's great value, actually. You'd have to decide which one's best for you, probably for its utility, not overall shootability, because I do like this stock configuration a little bit better than the C model. I would choose the C model overall because of what it can do. Fold. And by the way, the folding mechanism is right here. Forgot to tell you that. So it folds, just push this. This, by the way, is a spare battery for my scope, in case you're wondering what that's taped on there. And this, by the way, is your bolt release at the aft of the magazine well. Forgot to show you that. Look at that, though. The amazing thing about the C model is it folds up to basically the size of a submachine gun, and it is a 16-inch barrel still. How's that? That's why I'm not super stoked about, oh, you got to have this gun, this barrel length. I like the longest barrel I can take in my guns, and especially when I compare it against an SU-16C model. If you wanted to SBR this, you could cut and thread it right here, even cooler, but you're going to lose, you know, ballistic efficiency. They do sell that super cool SU-16 D9 9-inch barrel and D12 12-inch barrel requiring ATF paperwork. But for you guys that are really hard over on short-barreled guns, that'd be a cool option. Cool option. They obviously have a different forend on there. It's a compact forend from KelTec, and I don't know how hard they are to get. They may be impossible to get. They list it on the website, talking the D9, D12, but they sure look cool. Totally worth the money. Some alternatives in the ballpark, and these are just a couple. Mini 14, that will be actually more expensive, much more expensive. Minis are running around, what, 9? Maybe even more nowadays. They've really gone up. There are several AR-15 value guns that will come into the $700 price point. The M&P-15 Sport, the Sporticle by TNPrs, the AR-15 by Ruger. Those are excellent, but they're not 4.7 pounds. They're not, and they don't compact this light. SKS is a great option if you're looking to save money. I love the 7.6239. How about the Ares Defense SCR? I tweeted the other day a mini review on the Ares SCR. It almost looks like they were copying, at least in terms of look, the SU-16. It looks very similar. But it's got a 15-pound trigger, so it's twice as heavy as this one. Has a long reach safety. The charging handle hits your hand, is uncomfortable. No threaded barrel, no last shot hold open. Both these guns have LSHO, and it's got a custom bolt carrier group, which you could say with the SU-16 as well. And I'll leave it at that. I'm going to wrap it up. So, yeah. Reliable? Yeah, totally. Go to war ready? Yeah, totally. Within the limitations I've covered already. SU-16. You know, if you want to carry around a 10-pound AR, I say rock it. And I said this in the review, so don't forget it. Guys watch, either they don't watch the video or they just forget, but this gun right here, dude, this is a go-to-war gun for me. My AR-15 build. And I would go to this gun before I would go to that gun if I had a choice. But it's not because of reliability, really. It's because I have like a 3.5-pound trigger in this one. It's super, super accurate, and I can crank off rounds super fast. It's set up ergonomically, perfect for me. Has a perfect flash hider on it. I can swap out with 2 pins pushed, an SPR upper on it for that reason. And by the way, I like the gray. I like this color too, though. That turned out really, really cool. I've had several offers to buy that. Hey man, let me buy that CA model. I'm like, no way, dude. Not selling it. Reliable? Yes. Adequately accurate? Absolutely. Durable? Yes, from what we've seen. Affordable? Totally. Lightweight? Totally. 4.7 pounds. The SU-16 series is not broken. It's as fabulous as it ever was. It deserves a lot more attention. If you're in a gun store, pick it up, handle it. You will not believe how light it is. If you get a chance to shoot it, you'll probably buy one. Especially if you shoot at the range, you see how accurate it is. It's almost a perfect CQB gun. It really is. Nutnfancy.